Lead guitar playing is more simple than you currently think. And if you're here and stick with me for the next 20-25 minutes, then I'm gonna prove it to you. Now, mind you, I didn't say it was easy. It will require practice, it will require strategic planning, and it will require some discipline too for you to get results. But it's not as difficult as the mainstream of online guitar learning makes it out to be. What is the teaching of the mainstream, which I call the old method? It's learning scale patterns, it's learning the caged system, it's learning different licks and lick material that you just have to memorize, and then it's unlearning what you have practiced already with those scale sequences and try to turn the scales back into something musical. Now, many guitarists that I talk to you come from this mindset of learning scales. For example, like Gabe here, that wrote me this in a comment. Do you see the problem with this approach here? This scale-based approach is doomed to fail. Or let's put it that way, it can work, but then you need hours and hours of practicing to finally get those scales back into a musical shape. How do I know? Well, I did it myself. I myself studied theory and guitar at the University of Music and Performing Arts, Vienna. And I spent so many hours learning stuff that I'm never gonna use now again. Most self-taught hobbyists don't have that much time. So if you are going down that route and trying to practice like an ongoing jazz virtuoso like Matteo Marcuso or someone like that, then you are just set up to fail because you don't have the years and the hours in the day to do this. Am I right? So what if I instead gave you a streamlined path that focuses exactly on those foundations that you're gonna need if you just wanna play in a bluesy, melodic, confident lead guitar style. But before we do that, we first need to define our goal more closely because that's also a common problem. Most people are just super spread out in the stuff that they like. If you're like me, or if you're like a lot of my students, they like Eddie Van Halen, but they're also like Wes Montgomery, they dig Stevie Ray Vaughan, but they're also into Tommy Emmanuel and acoustic playing. And those new guys, the shredders, they're also pretty cool. Does that sound familiar? So instead of becoming a jack of all trades and master of none, we need to first settle on one role model to study. Why just one role model? Do you like apples? Well, what if I was gonna give you an apple and just throw it at you like this? You think you could catch that apple? Probably you could if my throw is halfway decent, right? But what if I ask you to catch all these 5 apples at the same time? Do you think that would work? Probably you couldn't catch a single one of them, right? So that's exactly the reason we want to focus on just one guitar player. And now the question is, who should it be? I'm not going to make that decision myself, but instead, let's ask some of the most famous guitarists in the world.
And I consider him the Jesus of rock guitar.
I would put Jimmy on a very high position.
This record changed my life. Like, it changed the lives of so many people.
I think he's always going to be the chosen son and the Jesus Christ and the Messiah of electric guitar.
So Jimi Hendrix, ever heard of him? Sounds familiar, right? Like, yeah, I like Jimmy, but it's not my style completely. Well, here's the thing. Jimmy is so much more than just an artist to listen to. So good old Jimmy is actually the pivoting point between the old school blues, guys like Buddy Guy, Albert King, or B.B. King, and rock music like it went on to be in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I'm talking about the lineage of guys like Santana, Stevie Ray Vaughan, David Gilmour, Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, you name it, John Petrucci, they all could not exist without Jimi Hendrix. And I don't mean like they copied Jimmy's style, but what I mean is that Jimmy created the new template of the modern rock soloist. And that's why it's as important for us guitarists to study Jimmy as it is important for classical pianists study Mozart. Have you ever thought of it that way? Well, I can kind of hear the next question forming in your mind. All right, Ulrich, let's say I believe you. Where should I start? Jimmy's material is so all over the place and so hard to transcribe. I actually tried it before and it never worked for me. I can totally relate to that because I was once in the same situation too. So instead of just learning a bunch of songs, why don't we just start with one riff? Secret number one, how to end the endless scale noodling with the Hendrix chordal style. Do you know this song? You know this song? It's called Wind Cries Mary, right? You know that lick there? Or maybe you know the solo. Doesn't matter if you know the song or not, but I just want to take one lick here. The song is in F, and I want to put this lick in the key of C, yeah? Which is going to be in C, and the lick goes like this. So this is what I call the Hendrix chordal style archetype. This archetype consists of 5 notes. And if we know a little bit about the fretboard, or maybe you know your caged system, then we can figure out that there's a C major triad in there. Yeah? So 3 notes are exactly the C major triad. That's the C note, G note, and the E note. Yeah? Then we got 2 extra notes. We got the A here, and then we got the D note here. So what happens if we just play all these notes in one row? Let's see. Can you hear what the sound actually is? I'm going to give you a hint. It's the relative mode of the A minor pentatonic. Does it ring a bell? Well, I'm going to help you here. This is the C major pentatonic. We got C, A, G, E, D, C. So if we start this whole deal on an A, we have... Do you hear now that this is the same scale notes? It just depends which root note we have in the bass. So tell me, what sounds more musical to you? Is it this? Or is it this? Let me guess. You already like those double stops and this melodic style. So this is now the first thing that we can learn from Hendrix, is this lick archetype. And we can actually use this lick archetype to understand the full fretboard. We can put this lick in all the positions. Here, here, then down here, and then maybe down here. Now imagine that you were able to do this on the fly right away. Would that give you a whole new level of fretboard understanding? And do you think that maybe this could be way more useful than just learning your cage shapes all over the fretboard? What if you were just directly able to play phrases like that? Well, that's exactly what the Hendrix chordal style is about. And with a little bit of practice, we actually can go ahead and play this C major sound all over the fretboard. You see how beautifully that works? It's pretty amazing, right? But this is just a dry training. Yeah? I haven't even started improvising or anything. I've just basically put some patterns together and already sounded way more musical than this, right? Way more musical. Yeah? So the next step now would be to apply this to an actual tune and see how this could work. Let's take the popular Hendrix song, Hey Joe, that you might know. That was Hendrix's first hit when he came out. Well, the intro goes something like this. And no worries, I'm gonna send you the tabs if you keep watching. Right, that's the whole song. Now check out the chords. C major, G, D, A, back to the E major. Now what do you think happens if you took the Hendrix chord lick and applied it here? Not too shabby, right? I'll do it one more time. Oh yeah! Do you see the potential of this one chord lick? All I did was just play that one chord lick over all the 4 chords and just connect them. It's pretty amazing, right? I haven't even started to musically change the phrases or, any of that. This was just the mere chord lick, yeah? In my opinion, this is much better than if you were playing. Trying to improvise in E minor, yeah? And no worries, this approach doesn't just work for playing Hendrix, it works in pretty much any style. Check out my student Gary applying this over Prince's Purple Rain. So all I can tell you is that this approach has been an absolute game changer for so many of my students, and I can let them talk a little bit here later on. But let's summarize the benefits here. First benefit, scales are static. This chordal style is a dynamic, rhythmical approach. Advantage number 2, the Hendrix chordal style is a musical phrase and will help you to see all the shapes, triads, caged systems, and pentatonic shapes all in one, wrapped up in a musical phrase, so you can start playing more musically right away. Huge advantage. So it will help you also to orientate over the fretboard. And 3, it will teach you a lot about phrasing. It will actually show you the way Hendrix played, and so many other artists like John Frusciante or John Mayer or Stevie Ray, they all picked up this chordal style from Hendrix. It's pretty amazing, right? And this was just secret number 1 that I covered here for you today. Are you having fun so far? I hope you do, because the next one is going to be a huge asset in your toolkit. Secret number 2. How to give your solos and your practice structure with the layered lead guitar approach. All right, my friend, now we're getting to the core of the matter. And the core of the matter is that you lack options when you improvise. The reason you sound stale and flat is because you only have one layer to move on, most likely. That's when you feel like you're endlessly noodling, you're just repeating yourself, because you basically just have one texture available to play. Maybe you're able to play a little double stop here and there, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about goes back to players like Hendrix, but also many others. When I listen to someone like Jimmy, I hear a lot of different textures going on at the same time. As you know, Jimmy was playing in a trio, so he was the only guitarist. He was covering rhythm and solo at the same time. So he needed to have the ability to play harmony, melody, and rhythm at the same time. How was he able to do that? He developed a style that was very orchestral, that combined what I just showed you with the Hendrix chordal style with some other, let's call them devices, or you could call them layers, and they were all going on at the same time. Let's just listen to a short excerpt of this solo here. Do you hear what I'm talking about here? It's pretty amazing, right? And he clearly wasn't thinking of all these different layers, but they were automated. They were deep down in his muscle memory. So it was more like a boxer in a sparring match where he could just intuitively and reflex-like react. And I think that might actually be the core of what's currently missing in your playing. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know a lot of stuff. In theory, you would be a master because you have so much knowledge. You have way more knowledge than Eric Clapton or Hendrix ever had. You know about triads, you know about the cage system, you know about the modes, you know about landing tones. You've heard about all these things through countless of YouTube tutorials. But when it comes to implementing this on your guitar, you just freeze up and you don't have the chops to back it up. Does that sound familiar? And the reason for that is that your memory is purely in the left brain half in your rational memory, but it has not sunken deeper in what I call the musical reflex memory. You can access that memory pretty easily when you just close your eyes. And I'm actually gonna try this. I'm gonna put on simple chord progression here, and I'm just gonna follow my ears and I'm gonna try to implement different layers. All right, so check it out. We just got 3 chords in this progression. It's C major, B flat major, and F major. Yes! Could you hear how alive and how expressive this solo was? Even though I wasn't playing 1,000 notes a minute, right? I was really focusing on the melody and on the melodic potential of the chord progression. So what I was using here is something I call the layered lead guitar method. It's literally splitting up your lead guitar style in 7 of the most widely used devices, that's what I call them, used by players as David Gilmour, Mark Knopfler, Santana, Slash, Joe Satriani. I mean, you name it. It's a really wide field of players and doesn't necessarily just stick to one style. And it's a simplification. There are more layers that you can use, but those 7, my friend, they're gonna get you started like no time before. The advantage is the same as we had earlier with the apple throwing, if you remember. Why practice 100 different licks and approaches and techniques if we can just focus on 7 of them and make sure that you got those under your fingers? But the layered lead guitar method actually goes deeper than those 7 improvisational layers. Because before you can play anything, you need rock solid foundations. So you can really play expressively. And I'm talking about very unsexy things like bending in tune, having good synchronization between the hands, having halfway decent finger form where your fingers are not flopping all over the place, being able to bend a string and apply a controlled vibrato on top. How good is your vibrato? So all those mechanical things we need to take care of. And as you see here in this diagram of the layered lead guitar method, the first step is to fix your mechanics. Super important. So that also sets you up for a really structured practice, because if you have those 4 things to work on here, then guess what? You're also going to work on those 4 things in your practice. I don't have time to really go into depth into the layered lead guitar method, but the good news for you is if you stick around until the end, I'm going to email you a special 40-minute video about the LLG method that breaks down the whole process. Yes. Then so here, the second step, we got the fretboard layers. Because none of those techniques are going to carry us very far if you don't know the notes on the fretboard. So no matter what someone might have told you, like, oh, you don't need to know the notes, or no, just feel it. You need to know where the notes are in order to successfully navigate. Because just think about it, let's say I have one phrase here. I have this, just this phrase. If I don't know my notes, I can only play this phrase here. If I know my notes, I can find that C note here in the lower octave and then play that whole lick an octave lower. Or up here, as you see, then I can immediately play the same lick all over the fretboard, and that's what you're gonna need, especially in the heat of the moment, on a dark stage, with sweaty fingers, you being nervous, playing with people you never played before. What do you think how well this is gonna work if you don't know your fretboard inside out? I mean, it seems so obvious, but somehow in all this high-tech stuff that we're living in today, with all these YouTube videos and AI and all these tools that we have and Fender Play and so, we're just getting too lazy to just sit down and learn the fretboard. Well, fortunately for you, I've packaged all this together for you in a very straightforward and even fun way to practice these foundations that are always going to be with you once you have mastered them. So this is what's contained in number 2 and number 3, step 1, step 2. And then step 3 is about learning the vocabulary. Already what I talked about in the first section. But now we're not only learning the Hendrix chordal style, we're actually going deep on Hendrix's core rock and blues vocabulary. You're going to learn the essential phrases and licks. Not so much learning licks by heart and then just keep repeating them over and over, but understanding the major archetypes or the most common moves, so to say, that guys like Hendrix used, and then they were used by so many other people like David Gilmour or Stevie Ray Vaughan or you name it. Yeah. So this is step number 3. We relearn the vocabulary of the masters. Super crucial. And then step number 4 is what I mentioned before with the 7 lead guitar layers. And I'm just gonna name them for you since I already brought it up with that demonstration before. I'm just gonna quickly demonstrate all 7 layers just to give you a little bit of a peek what's in store for you if you decide to go deeper on all this stuff that I'm showing you today. All right, I'm gonna quickly hit all the 7 layers here over this C drone, and I'm gonna pretend we are in C major. Here we go. Those were the lick archetypes, or some of them. Next, Hendrix chordal style. Next part, 6th. Of course, this blends beautifully with the Hendrix chordal style. Next layer, 1 string approach. Great for phrasing and connecting the fretboard in the horizontal plane. Next one, mixing in blues over a major context. So adding minor blues grid in a major context. Then we got the fluid pentatonics. Very cool texture. Doesn't maybe make sense so much just in this melodic style, but you'll see it's very, very useful. Eh? So then we also have the triad pairs. Check it out. Do you hear the super cool modal sound that you get when you play those triad pairs? Yes. So that was it. Those are the 7 layers. And imagine if you had a structured step-by-step process of getting all those 7 layers under your fingers until you can recall them on the fly in a jam session situation. How would that change your guitar world? Do you think you would become a more confident improviser? If you had those 7 layers, you had all the Hendrix vocabulary under your fingers, you worked on all your foundations, your bendings are in tune, your rhythm is tight and solid. I mean, you tell me. I'm imagining that you would be a truly transformed guitarist. And that's exactly what happens to my students once they start working on this LLG approach. But let's hear from them personally.
Hola amigos, Patricia Vaughn here, and I'm really excited to be a part of this program called Total Guitar Transformation, which uses Jimi Hendrix as a guide, and it provides lifetime access to tutorials, practice guides, tools, And my biggest revelation is the foundation builder, because I'm starting from the beginning, which is about learning the fretboard, learning finger exercises and scales, ear training. So that's my biggest takeaway right now, and it's a new frontier for me. So, but I highly recommend the program to anyone who is interested in learning outside of the proverbial box. So keep rocking, yahoo!
I've been playing guitar since I was 12 or 13 years old, and I knew my chords, I knew my pentatonic scales, I knew some of the church modes, but I was really stuck at a certain level in my playing, not being able to break through, also not giving myself the time to invest in my guitar education, seeing it as a hobby, of course. I'm a busy guy, I have a lot of things to do at work, but I wanted to get better at guitar playing. And I got in touch with Ulrich, and I can say I've been in the program now for half a year. I finished basic training, and it has helped me tremendously getting at a higher level at a very high pace. And I was hesitating whether or not to participate, because can I invest the time? Will I be able to make this dream come true? But I must say, having the professional guidance of Ulrich, also in person through the Zoom calls, has really helped me wanting to invest more and more time in practice.
And that's exactly what happens to my students once they get into it. Already after 2-3 months of using this step-by-step practice approach, they are starting to see truly transformational results. So I want to just tell you quickly about one of my students. His name is Youngling. When we met each other, he was like 42 years old. He's from Taiwan. He has his own company. He's a very busy CEO of a company. He also has 3 kids and a wife, so busy family life at home. And he truly thought he didn't have enough time to do this, but his passion was there. Once I turned him on to the LLG method, he was able to practice ferociously and stay on target, even with kids crawling over him in his videos. I mean, it was hilarious. And guess what? In just 11 months, he was able to finish the whole TGT program, learn all the Hendrix descriptions, go through the LLG method. I mean, truly amazing, because he saw the purpose behind this system. He saw the logic of the step-by-step approach, and he wasn't even a Hendrix fan. But once he was done with the program, he could improvise over any style, and especially those soulful, jazzy fusion sounds that he likes so much. He was able to go back to them and suddenly just play 10 times better. But hear for yourself.
My playing is just like a noodling and only relying on my ear. So sometimes it hits the right note, sometimes it doesn't. And most of the time I can hear the correct pitch or maybe melody in my mind, but I just don't know where to find it. Yeah, so it's not connected between the ear and also the eyes and also the brain.
All right, very cool. I don't know about you, but I think we are ready to really go down to the core. And I would call this the root of all the problems and challenges we're discussing today. Because the root of the problem is not that you don't have enough time. It's not that you're not talented enough. It's not that you're not good enough at scales. We discussed that one. The root of the problem is that you don't have a clear structured path to follow, and you're not getting quality feedback on your playing. Secret number 3, how to stop the massive information overload and start making structured progress with the TGT task system. So let me ask you, have you ever been in a huge store and you had a faint idea what you needed to buy? You had one of these huge shopping carts, and as you were pushing that shopping cart through the aisles, you're just looking left and right, and you see something over there that looks like, oh yeah, I actually forgot I needed some of those. And yeah, I think my wife said we need some washing powder. And before you know it, your whole cart is completely full, and you're not even sure if you bought all the things that your wife asked you to get, why you went to the store in first place. Well, it has happened to me, and what is the cure? What is the fix for this? You gotta write a shopping list, right? I mean, you gotta have a piece of paper. I actually prefer paper because even on the phone, you get distracted. So I wanna have a piece of paper where you make a check mark. Whenever you put something in your cart, you make a check mark so you know, okay, you got it. And this is the same issue with guitar playing. Only you're not in a huge store, you are in the World Wide Web. And left and right, these advertisements pop up, trying to get your attention and trying to make you forget what you originally set out to learn in the first place. Go over here. This looks fancy. Try it a little bit there. You buy that course. Oh, it was only $47. And then you go over there. Oh, year-long unlimited access to TrueFire on sale, Black Friday. Oh, we gotta get that one, right? And then you have all these courses that you never look at, and even if you do, you have no chance. If you use your whole lifetime, you won't get through all this material. So what's missing is a shopping list that keeps you on target of what you really need. But then the problem is, how do you know what's supposed to be on that shopping list? Just like I was just breaking down the layered lead guitar method for you. You see, you need a clear roadmap and you need some clear action steps. Otherwise, you're just going to be lost. I can just show you what has worked for hundreds of our students. I can break down the TGT method for you here. And in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you some examples of students going through a training and completing tasks and getting results. And if you feel that a similar system could work for you as well, if you feel like these guys and girls are not so different, not so far away from where you are skill-wise, then I want to invite you to click on the button below and fill out an application. That's the best way to get in touch with us. And you're going to answer just a few questions about your guitar playing. And what we can do is we can already give you a rough estimate of how long it would take you to finish our basic training, to finish the first part of our foundation building, where we're going to cover part number 1 and 2 of the LLG method, so we can move to the vocabulary part. But before you click on the button, don't leave this video here behind. Keep watching for the next 5 minutes. I want to introduce you to some of our students who completed the TGT program, and you're going to see exactly what steps they took to do so.
Let's start the first one.
I was almost nowhere. I was learning songs on YouTube or by watching somebody play, because I mean, I've known 3 or 4 chords for many years, and that's it,
Right
just
on.
3 or 4 chords. And I was just getting in. Like before I talked to you, I'd learned bar chords a couple of months before that, and I was excited about that because I could play more songs, you know. And man, I'll just say that this program, it's taught me a lot about myself, to be honest with you. It's taught me that I wasn't near as disciplined as I thought I was when it comes to things. So it's helped me to tighten things up. And honestly, as crazy as this sounds, you can take this part out of the recording, but it's got me to just be better in life all the way around. I mean, getting out more with my family.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. It's a cool program.
Well, that's amazing. You know, that it gives me shivers a little bit.
This is the best online program that I've been a part of so far. And I know I've tried many different courses I've found through YouTube and different videos and guitar teachers and stuff. But this is just, it's structured in a way just makes sense, really.
So thanks so much for sticking around here for this whole video. I want to give you a quick summary here. Today, I discussed with you the 3 Hendrix-inspired secrets to skyrocket playing. The first secret was how to stop the endless noodling and start playing freely and confidently with the Hendrix chordal style. The second secret was how to organize, structure your solos and your practice with the help of the layered lead guitar method. And last but not least, the third one was how to stop the information overload and develop focus and consistent progress with the help of the TGT task system and a mentor to give you input. So at this point in the video, you pretty much got 3 options of how to proceed. Number 1, you can just keep practicing and playing the way you've always had, not change anything. Just look at this video as a nice little entertainment. Keep watching your other YouTube videos. Unfortunately, your playing is not gonna change that way. Option number 2, you can go to our TGT website and enroll into our self-study platform Guitar Coach Club, where you can try the platform for just $1, get some of the essential trainings to break down this LLG method for you, and try to implement it on your own with what you hear from those classes. This is advisable both for beginners that are not there yet and for advanced students that already have the foundations. They're not gonna need or want any feedback from me. Then you can just do that. Or option number 3, if you understand the significance of all the 3 topics that are presented to you today, and you already know that having a mentor that gives you super high quality feedback every week, that is going to be an absolute game changer for your guitar playing, then I propose that we look further into that and we do a personal interview on Zoom together. If that resonates with you, then click on this link below, fill out an application. It's just gonna give us some information about where you are in your guitar journey. And then if you qualify, we will invite you to have a little chat on Zoom with us. On this chat, you can ask us any questions about the TGT program. We're gonna do an audit of your guitar playing, so you're gonna get some practical tasks. And then at the end, if you wanna learn more, we're gonna tell you more of how to enroll into our program. We cannot give any guarantee that we will accept you. We also don't know if there will be space, because we have a limited number of people that we enroll every month. So that will all depend, and we will find out all those details on the Zoom call. For now, I just want to say thank you. You already have shown that you're an action taker by sticking around until the end here. And all I can say is this is going to be an amazing year for your guitar playing. If you can implement those 3 topics this year, it's going to be a transformation the way you didn't even think it was possible. I'm your biggest fan. Thank you for listening, and see you soon.